So after Moses led the people out of Egypt, they ended up roaming, wandering aimlessly, so it seems, in the desert for 40 years. 40 long years. Not because it was that long of a trip, but because God had to teach them to trust Him and to follow Him faithfully. After 40 years, Moses found himself at the edge of the Promised Land. Just across the Jordan, he could see it. Moses went up on the mountaintop, and Moses looked over into the land, and he saw all of the land that God had promised to him and to Abraham before him, many, many centuries before. Moses wasn't able to enter the Promised Land. God took Moses to be home with Him after seeing the Promised Land. And that left Moses' assistant, Joshua, in charge to lead the people of Israel into the Promised Land. What do you think it felt like to be the assistant to a great man like Moses and then to realize Moses is gone? Joshua was afraid. Joshua was uncertain. But God spoke to Joshua. Listen to these words from Joshua chapter 1, verses 5 through 9. God says to Joshua, "No one will be able to stand against you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their forefathers to give them. Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, that you may be successful wherever you go. Do not let this book of the law depart from your mouth. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful." God says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be terrified. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." With these great words, God encouraged Joshua, and Joshua then returned to the people and led them to the Jordan River. Joshua led them through the Jordan River, which is an amazing story in and of itself. When the priests walk out into the water's parted, just like they had at the Red Sea, and the people of Israel walked across the Jordan into this new land, the land that God had promised hundreds of years ago to Abraham, then to Isaac, and to Jacob. But when they crossed the river, there was a massive city, the city of Jericho. It had strong, powerful walls so that no one could invade, so that no one could come and take the homes within. But God had a plan. God told Joshua to lead the people around the city. And every day for a week, God's people walked around the city. And then on the seventh day, they walked around the city 7 times. And after they had walked around the city 7 times, God gave them these instructions. Everyone with the trumpet is to sound that trumpet and to yell and to shout. And then God said, "I will give you the land, the city of Jericho." And on the 7th day, they walked around it 7 times. They blew their trumpets, they shouted, and all of a sudden, the walls of Jericho fell down. God gave the land and the city of Jericho to His people, not because they were the strongest, not because they were the wisest, not because they were the purest, but because they were faithful. I wonder what God wants to do for us. I wonder if we will put our faith and trust and hope in God this week and always.